I serve the car business primarily. I have some, I think, RV dealers, some furniture stores, a few of them, but I there's 40,000 car dealers, and I've worked with about 2,000 of those. And I love car dealers because they're used to spending that big budget, and we take that advertising budget and give them a massive ROI. What was your experience getting into roofing? Because you primarily serve roofers, and why roofing? And what do you love about that? Why is that your niche?
All right. So before I understood the data, I thought that, man, if I could just cast a really wide net and help anybody who's willing to raise their hand, then I'll have a bigger audience. I'll have more business. But what I learned really quickly was people are after the specialist. Like when we go see a doctor, we want to go see the doctor that specializes in whatever the problem is that we have. And so I identified quickly, man, there's a lot of people that are in the roofing industry and they want to do well. They have the right mindset. They just don't have the right information. And I can come in there and help them adjust, just tweak a few things, just a few minor adjustments. I don't have to completely turn their whole life upside down. Just make a few minor adjustments and it can really make all the difference in the world for the results.
Yeah, obviously. So, 1,700 roofing companies. I'm kind of amazed at that number. Even, I guess if I had to guess how many roofing companies there are, I wouldn't know where to start.
Oh, man, there's if I had 5% of the industry, I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah. So you still got at 1,700, you have a very, very small fraction still.
Oh, there's 50,000 contractors in a single state.
Really?
Yeah. So there's the market's wide open.
So do you train any other industries at all? I mean, do you work with
primarily my primary niche right now is roofing contractors. I know the business inside and out. I understand what the sales guys are going through. Now, just to be clear, I work with salespeople, so I'm not the guy that's going to go in and help a company set up their back office.
Gotcha.
I don't do any of the admin stuff. My expertise is if you got a guy, and let's say you're buying leads and he's not closing, or let's say you want to get him proficient at generating his own. I'm the guy that can step in and work with him and make that happen.
So let's talk about some of the challenges that roofing companies have. I had no idea there's as many as 50,000 contractors in a single state. But let's talk about on a day-to-day, because when a lot of people, including me, think about roofing companies, you think about the small company with one or two
truck in a truck.
Yeah, exactly. But you're talking about guys that have sales teams. You're talking about leads. So you're actually, and I love it, you're implementing process into what a lot of people like me, ignorant to the fact that it is a huge business. You're implementing sales processes that are going to, that will allow you to predict what's going to happen when you start doing these processes. What
Absolutely.
are some challenges that they face?
Well, so I've noticed trends over the years, and it's funny because I get asked the same questions by different people. And so I start noticing these trends and I start documenting things. Well, what I've learned is the vast majority of salespeople, they think too much and they talk themselves out of doing whatever it is they need to do because they think about it so much. So my best advice, which I also live by myself, I do everything that I teach. My advice is don't be as concerned about what you're going to say. Don't be as concerned about that as you are about getting in front of the right person. Right. Because if you get in front of the right person, it's going to come to you. But if you think about it too much, you're going to talk yourself out of it. So the number one rule is, first of all, just show up. Like most people don't show up. They never even get out of the car to go knock that door. Mm-hmm. They never show up. They think of every excuse in the world. And it's only because they're not confident in what to do when they show up.
Okay. So let's talk about, I think you'll give me the answer that I'm thinking of right here. Where does confidence come from?
Oh man. Knowledge. Yeah. Knowledge. Absolutely. Confidence comes from knowledge and your experience of acting on that knowledge. So, when you try something and it actually expands, it grows exponentially the more you do it.
And so the more sure you are of something. So
you gotta know.
Certainty gives me confidence. You know,
Yep.
if I'm certain of something, I'm confident in it. And you're right, it grows. So, you're talking about selling, knock, knock, knock. You know, I could imagine that would be a tough sale. You know, I mean, door to door. Do you teach door to door as well? I know.
Okay. A lot of it's door to door. There's very strategic things that we do in order to get in front of the right decision maker. But at the end of the day, is everybody's got a problem, and if your solution it appears to be the best solution, and you're in front of your demographic, you're going to get that deal. Most customers don't realize they have a problem. They don't realize in roofing. They don't. Who looks at most customers don't even know what color their own roof is.
Yeah, that's
so. It's not something you look at every day.
That's true. Let me tell you my roofing experience.
All right.
We just recently built a house, and it's got a pretty chopped up roof line. I think I actually tagged you and said, "Hey, you know, how much should this cost me to get roofed?" And you have a tremendous following, and they were they gave a lot of advice, and they, you know, it was cool to interact with people who could give me the answers that I wanted. But you know, price is definitely something that comes up. Maybe that's not the biggest objection, but do you see people out there? Because someone actually tried to really gouge me. So that's one thing. Yeah, man. So, you know, it's pretty chopped up. A local guy told me $170. And I know this is in South Georgia. So naturally the market is going to change. This may be just a normal price, but $170 per square for brand new. And I got it done for 90. So, you know, do you see people out there? I know that there's sharks. You know, we hear about it in the car business, but are there pirates out there that's really trying to?
Absolutely.
So you have to overcome that with.
Of course, it's just like any other industry. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Macy's, you can go to the dollar store, wherever you want to go, and there's an abundance. Thankfully, in this country, we have an abundance of options. So, my expertise is really just helping the owner identify where they want to go and which model they want to work on, and help them get there. So, there's guys out there, and there's a lot of variables. Is it emergency? Is there an emergency repair? Are they coming out on a Sunday in the middle of the rain to fix your problem? Like, there's a lot of variables, but my job is to help the guy that he might be just like you're describing. He might be working off the dashboard of his truck. And he's been a roofer his whole life, but he wants to learn how to sell. And there's a lot of guys like that. They're good dudes. They're blue collar, and they're trying to figure out how to get the next sale because they're not a salesperson. And most people don't even know the difference between selling and closing. And there's two totally different steps.